kind of go as far as you want. Like, there are specialists in veterinary medicine. So let's say you want to specialize in skin, or you want to specialize in eyes. You can be a board certified ophthalmologist, or you can be like a board certified cardiologist and study just hearts. And if you want to work with cows, you can be a cow vet. And if you want to work with small animals, you can work with dogs and cats. My name is Dr. Konrad, and what I do is I'm a veterinarian. My mother was a zoologist, so I grew up around animals. I always liked animals. I really liked reptiles and snakes. And then when I kind of got into college, I realized that being a veterinarian was probably a better path for me than like studying just snakes, and I can study snakes as a hobby. And then I always, liked helping little animals and stuff, so kind of like the typical story, like you grew up liking animals and helping them. So the average day, like here, is I show up at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I see appointments every half an hour to every 40 minutes throughout the day. They'll usually do a couple of what we call work-in appointments. So if there's an emergency, they'll work them in where the person drops off the animal. So I'll typically see between 15 to 18 patients a day. There's surgery days. That's a little different. So that would be an appointment day where I'm just seeing appointments. On a surgery day, I still come in at 8, and while they're checking in surgeries, I'll see a couple appointments in the morning, and then the rest of the morning's usually blocked for me to do my surgeries. I may see an appointment after the surgeries, and then in the afternoon I'll see appointments. So for every patient I see, I have to fill out a report, and it's called a SOAP. We call them SOAPs, and there's 4 major parts of that report. There's the S part is subjective, and that's the history, and that's what the client tells us. And then there's the objective part. That's my physical exam, where I write what I see. The A part is the assessment is what I think is going on. So like if they said my dog's scratching and itching, I look at it and I see some wounds on the dog, then my assessment could be like skin infection. And then the P part of SOAP is plan. So if a dog is scratching and itching and has a rash, I think there's a skin infection. I might do cytology on it, meaning I'll take a sample and I'll look for like bacteria or yeast. And then my plan would be like, if I find bacteria, I'm going to give antibiotics. There's a couple of them. One is, of course, helping animals, as best you can. You can't save every animal, but doing the best you can do. Meeting clients, kind of just the interpersonal reaction. Interpersonal kind of relationships are nice. Seeing the dogs, kind of like a satisfaction of getting something done. And then if you're gonna be a vet, like you're gonna want to like to do puzzles and stuff, because almost every dog is like a puzzle. Like you have to figure out what's going on. So you're using your brain, and then if you can figure it out, there's satisfaction in that. I may have a fully booked schedule. And then people call like they really want to come in because they just want you to look at their animal. Or the manager wants to get as many patients as she can. And some cases are like super easy, like a skin infection, and some are hard, like they've been vomiting for 2 weeks and they're not eating. That's a big workup. So like one frustration is I like to like be complete, and I want to know what's going on. So if I have to go like super fast, I feel like I may not be doing a good job. Like I want to slow down and take my time. And I view like every animal, like even if the client's nice or not nice, I view the animal the same. Like I want to do a good job, and I want to figure out what's going on. So if I have like a lot of patients coming in, there's so much going on, I sometimes feel like it's hard to give as much attention to each case as I want to. So that would be like a frustration slightly. Or if an owner comes in, because sometimes an owner will come in and their dog's sick and they kind of take it out on you like we made it sick. You know, that's kind of frustrating. When I have to put a pet down, like if I have to euthanize them, it's sad because I have to deal with people that are crying. Like I see people crying every day. Like today I've already euthanized 2 animals. And you have to show compassion, and it's tough, but also when you're doing it, you know, a lot of times you're doing the animal a favor because the animals are suffering. When they're throwing up or they have tumors on them, you know, it's not, the animals are suffering, so we kind of have to do it. And it's tricky because I can go in an exam room and like euthanize a pet and have a whole family crying, and then I come out of the room and then I have technicians like, Dr. Konrad, there's a puppy in room 3 you got to go see. So I have to switch from that to seeing a brand new puppy. But you know, you get used to it. It's part of the job. Surprise in a good way. One thing about being a vet I wasn't as prepared for is dealing with people. Because I was kind of shy growing up and I really liked animals. And I was thinking, oh, I just want to see puppies and play the animals. But being a vet, like I said, you're dealing with the owners most of the time. You're dealing with staff. So you need to think about that. Like, you know, you should be kind of a people person. The steps to be a veterinarian: after high school, you go to an undergraduate university, and you generally get an undergrad degree, and it's usually in biology or some science. And then there's prerequisites, like there's certain classes you have to take in college to get into vet school. It's a combination of grades, so your grade point average. There's testing, some science testing, a standardized science test, and there's an essay that you write, and then there's an interview. I mean, I would say being a vet's a good profession because you can make a decent salary. If you like it, you need to like animals. You're going to be with animals all day, and it can be somewhat flexible in time now because there's emergency clinics, so you're not going to have to work at night. You know, if you want to be an emergency veterinarian, you can work some shifts at night. You won't work other days. If you're a general practitioner, you know, you don't have to wake up at night. I mean, just solving problems every day. You know, it can be fun. I mean, I like it. Like when you're doing a surgery and it's a tough surgery and then you make it and the dog does good. You know, it's a good feeling. Yeah. And you never know everything. And, you know, I'm still learning now after 30 years. But lately I've been feeling like kind of getting in a groove. You know, I've seen almost everything at least once. So it actually gets funner like that, you know.